we are going to bring our green into the kitchen by making our shamrock shake. Oh, shamrock, okay, let's go back. Now it's time for a sweet St. Patrick's Day treat. This isn't your usual lasagna. It's a shamrock lasagna dessert made with layers of Oreos, whipped topping, and mint. I'm in the kitchen now with Gwen, and let's see how this lucky dessert comes together. Gwen, what's your favorite thing about St. Patrick's Day?
I like wearing green.
Me too. I do feel a little underdressed, but we are going to bring our green into the kitchen today with this dessert. So the first thing we need to do is we need to preheat our oven to 375. So anytime you're in the kitchen and you have to use an appliance, you want to make sure that you're with an adult. So we'll preheat our oven over here to 375. And we are going to make our bottom layer of the Oreos. So we're going to crunch these up, and this is the fun part. So you want to help me fill the bag with these 2 rows of Oreos. Great. Now, what's your favorite type of cookie? Do you like Oreos?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Okay, and this is the easiest way that I've found to smash the Oreos is to just put them in a gallon bag and take, your rolling pin and just start lightly crunching them. But you want to make sure you don't break the bag open. So I'll have you start smashing those for us. This is what you do if you have, maybe some anger that you need to get out. You can make this recipe. Great. And while she's finishing this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a stick of butter and I'm going to put it in the microwave and melt it. So usually you want to put it in the microwave for about 30 seconds or so. So I'm going to have to open it. Yep, if you want to hold that open for me, and we'll pour it in the bag. And you want to be careful because it is warm because it just came out of the microwave. And then we're going to close up the bag. And we're just gonna kind of go like this with our hands and squish the butter all around. Perfect. Okay. You wanna take your pan, so 9 by 13, and we'll just open it up here, and we'll pour it into the pan. Then we'll take our spatula and we'll just kind of make it nice and flat, if you want to do that for me. Once you have everything evenly placed in your pan, you want to take it and put it in your oven that's been preheating to 375, and you want to bake it for about 10 minutes. And we're just going to set this aside and let it cool. And while this cools, we're going to start making our fillings. So the first layer of the shamrock lasagna, we're going to use 3 simple ingredients, a block of cream cheese, pour that in there, perfect, and a cup of powdered sugar. Powdered sugar is always the messiest part. 8 ounces of whipped topping, this entire carton goes right in there. And then what we're going to do is we're simply going to mix these together with our blender. So I'll get it started and then I'll hand it off to you. So let's set this aside and clean this off, and then we'll come back and we'll make our next layer. So for this layer, we're going to be using 3 boxes of the Jell-O cheesecake. We'll just, great. Okay, and then with the 3 boxes, you want to add 3 cups of milk. So we're going to grab our milk here, and I'll start measuring this out. You can pour that in for me. Great. Then we're gonna take our blender here and we're gonna put it on low, and for about 3 to 4 minutes, you wanna blend your mixes with your milk, and it'll get a consistency that's thicker, almost kind of like a cheesecake consistency. All right. So we're going to take our next tub of whipped topping and we're going to add that to the cheesecake mix. Ooh, yum, yum. Perfect. And then, do you want to mix it up for me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, now that we have our cheesecake and our whipped topping mixed together, it's time to make it green and make it minty. So we're going to add some of the green food coloring. So I'll have you add that for me. It's time to add our mint. So let's take our peppermint extract and we're just gonna do, just a little drop in there. And then I'll have you blend that up for me. Okay, I think it's all nice and blended. So what we're going to do, we have our 2 layers, and the next thing we need to do is remember we have that one last row of Oreo cookies that we saved. We need to smash those up for our topping. So let's move this aside and we will grab our Oreos. All right, I think we can set those aside and then we will start creating our layers. So the first one we're gonna put on top of that is the white with the cream cheese and the powdered sugar and the whipped topping that we blended together. And then I'll have you just spread it across the top for us. Looks good. And then the next layer is our green mint layer. Okay, and then I'll have you spread that evenly. Okay, let's do our Oreo topping. So we have our crunched up Oreos, and I can take that for you. And then I'll have you sprinkle those for us across the top. Gently spread it around. Make sure your hands are clean before you do any cooking. Then what you want to do is you want to take this and you want to put it in your fridge and refrigerate this for about 4 to 6 hours so it can get nice and cool before serving. Okay, now that it's cooled for about 4 to 6 hours in the fridge, we have some fun toppings that we can add. So we have another thing here of whipped topping. So we're gonna each take a spoon and we can just kind of add like some dollops just across here. And then you can even take some cherries. Cherry on top, you wanna do some? And then last but not least, we're gonna add some green sprinkles. Now it's really looking green for St. Patrick's. Okay, I think it's looking great and it's time for us to cut a slice and try ourselves. All right, let's take a bite and try our delicious dessert. It's really good. I think we did a really good job in the kitchen today, Gwen.